Hi everyone, this is Crystal, and today I'm working in my 2020 Project Life album. This is week 22. You can see I already have my photos printed and kind of laid out where I think they might go. I didn't have a lot of photos for this week, so I think 3 of these are actually just captures from videos that I posted that week, but that's okay. That was obviously a big part of our week, so I'm going to go ahead and include those. I also don't have a kit to work with this week, so I'm just going to dip into my stash and see what I can come up with. And I thought I would go ahead and show you that process. So I wanted to start by showing you how I organize my 3x4 cards. So I'm going to set this off to the side a bit and pull these over. I just started organizing my 3x4 cards in these little boxes. These are actually the boxes that the Starbucks coffee cups come in when you buy them. And I had a bunch because we have been collecting I can't remember the name of the series, but we've been collecting those Starbucks mugs as we travel. So these hold 3x4 cards perfectly. I used some slightly larger pieces of paper to mark the different categories. I have them divided by manufacturer, except for a few here that are just in kind of rainbow order, and then a few like black and white and neutrals and gold foil that didn't really have a manufacturer associated with them, or they didn't have enough of that manufacturer to kind of warrant separating them out by manufacturer. And you can see some don't have labels yet because I had to add new as I went through my stash and kind of found bits and pieces that had been tucked away in different places. I had to add new dividers, so some of them don't have labels yet, but I need to go back and add those. So that is how I organize them. So far this is working really well. I do think of cards in terms of the manufacturer or where they came from, so this helps me get to them pretty quickly. This is what I am limiting my 3x4 card stash to. So I'm trying not to go beyond these 3 bins. I do have a little bit of space here. Of course, I do have collections that I haven't printed out, digital collections that I haven't printed out, and I am trying to use what I have here first and then print as I need more. So I'm going to start by pulling some of these. I'm going to need a 4x6 card as well. Those I have not organized yet. I just have them in this plastic container. I have an old organization system in here that didn't really work for me. So I need to go through and do the same thing as I did with the 3x4 cards with my 4x6 cards. I just haven't done that yet. But I only need one for this spread, I think. So it shouldn't be too hard to just pull one out of here. And then I will show you my embellishment stash as we get to that point. But I am just going to start by trying to find some 3x4 cards that will work with this spread and then take it from there. I'm going to start by going through my little stash of Citrus Twist Kits cards, just because these tend to be some of my favorites, and I'm usually pretty sure to find ones that will work with the photos that I have. So you can see I've already pulled out a couple. There's the one at the bottom that says Weekend Happenings, and I think most of these photos were taken on the weekend, so I thought I would definitely be able to use that one. And that's pretty much going to set the color scheme for this layout. I'm going to stick with those kind of tones of red and yellow and white pretty much for the whole thing. So I also found that Wash Your Hands, and since I have a spot for a filler card, I thought that might be a good one to use since this was in the middle of our quarantine. Just pulling out really anything that's kind of in that color scheme now, anything that I think will work either as backgrounds behind my photos or to add some lines of journaling. I didn't want it to be all Citrus Twist, so I thought I might look and see if I could find any Studio Calico cards that kind of went along. And then I also thought I might be able to find something that was music themed, because 3 of the photos, of course, are of us playing music. And I thought it would be nice to find something that kind of went along with that, but I didn't really find anything. I did find a couple cards that matched kind of the color scheme that I was going for, so I pulled those out, but I didn't really find anything else. So I'm going to end up just sticking those back. I feel like I have plenty cards here to work with. and I can use what I've already got out on the table and go forward. So I'm going to stop looking through this pile here in just a second, and then I will start looking through the 4x6 cards. So the most recent ones that I've added to the bin of 4x6 cards that I have there are from Citrus Twist. I used to have all of my Citrus Twist stuff separated out in a bin of its own, but I found that I wasn't using it as often, so I decided just to integrate it into all of the rest of my supplies. And I do use the extras from the kits much more than I did before, so that's really working for me so far. So the ones that are kind of just sitting on top of that 4x6 card bin are ones from Citrus Twist that I had pulled out of the bin I had stored those in. So that's what I'm going to start. Some of these are cards, some of these are papers that I've cut down to 4x6, like the 4x6 remnants of the 6x8 papers. I just store them all with the 4x6 cards because that's generally how I will use them. So I found a couple options here. You can see some of them are rather old. There was one there from 2018. Yeah, but I feel like I can still use that probably. I just would maybe cover up the date or something. So I keep it, and of course I think there's another side to it as well. But yeah, so I have a couple options here. I'm just gonna do the same thing that you saw me do with the 3x4 cards. Move things around, shuffle things a bit, see if I can get them into a spot where I like the way it all looks. And then I can move forward with the embellishing. So the first thing that I grabbed is my labels. So I have two little iris containers. I know they're off to the side, and I apologize that you can't see them very well. But they're just 4x6 photo storage containers, and I have both of them filled with labels from different companies. One is largely Citrus Twist kits with a few feature craft things thrown in there. One is a lot of Ellie Studio and Studio Calico, and some cut apart labels as well from some collections, older collections like from Dear Lizzie. I'm pretty sure that's where that top one, the large one on the title card, came from. But you've seen me use those before. That's just the best way I've found to store those labels. So this is another one of those boxes. And by the way, the mug collection is called Bin There. So they're mugs that you can get from different locations. So those cards also, or those boxes also hold embellishments pretty well. So all of these are stored in individual boxes like that. And then I have the boxes right now just in plastic bins to hold them all together. But that's not really working, so I'm going to have to come up with another solution for that. But they do hold the embellishments rather nicely, and I'm able to flip through them like you see me doing here. So I had the one full of chipboard, and I have another one there with puffy stickers. So I was just going through both of those, finding any that kind of work with the color scheme that I have here. And then I'm also going to need an alpha. So in a second, you'll see me grab my large supply of alphas, but these are just some die cuts from Citrus Twist that I haven't sorted out into my color-coded die cut bins just yet. So I have all of my die cut ephemera color-coded into those same 4x6 iris containers. I store them on my Rascog. The labels are stored right alongside them. I need to sort through all of these ephemera packs and add them to those bins. But right now I still have them in their individual packages. So I'm just going through a couple of them to see if I can find anything that might work here. And then I think I will be ready to finally actually start on this spread. So this is a bit of a longer video today just because I did want to show you all of my process. I didn't really cut anything out. I left it all in so you could see me make decisions. You could see how I sort through my supplies and pick out which ones to use. Okay, so here is where I bring in the embarrassing bin of alphas, which it's overflowing so bad, you guys. I really have to do something about it. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but a lot of it just needs to be added to my destash pile, because there's no way I can ever possibly use this many alphas. And you guys, I found another bin. I found another bin that I had like set aside I don't know, probably 2 years ago, and totally forgot about. That was stored on the bottom shelf in my craft area. So yeah, I have a problem, and I really need to get it under control. So yeah, if you didn't see my chat video, I am planning to do a destash sale very soon to get rid of a lot of the extra stuff that is just kind of clogging up my area at the moment. Okay, so I chose those alphas from the Paige Evans. I think it's Pick Me Up. I think those are from Pick Me Up, which I've clearly been hoarding. I love those tiny alphas. This may actually be my second one. I'm not sure, because I can't believe that I haven't used any of those white alphas yet. But yeah, there they are. They're going to end up on the page. You'll see me try another one here in a little bit, but those are the ones that I end up using. So I have some chipboard pieces that I've pulled off of some of the chipboard embellishment things from Citrus Twist. So I stuck this one down, and then I realized it was totally crooked. It's not centered, and it's completely stuck to my photo, so I can't get it back up. So I'm just going to have to live with it, and that's okay. I will live with it. I had that journal card that had the days of the week, and then I realized most of these photos are from the weekend, and I don't really have much to say about each day of this week, so I'm going to replace it with that wash your hands one, and I like that a lot better. I'm just working on my title card now. I am kind of all over the place this week with this spread. I kind of feel like when I don't have a kit to work with and I'm just pulling anything from my stash, I have basically my entire stash to pull from, I get a little bit overwhelmed, and it takes me a bit longer, and I'm a little bit more indecisive. So it works much better if I just use a kit. But yeah, just trying to use up my stash for sure. Okay, so these alphas are from Allie Edwards. They're from an old Week in the Life kit. I thought maybe I could just use the WK and get a really graphic, large title, but it was too big. They were just way too big for this size of a pocket. So I'm going to end up using those pink paisley alphas. I really like them. They end up looking pretty cool on the title card, I think. I do end up spelling out the week number. There are numbers on this set, but because these alphas are so tiny, and the card that I'm using, it's actually a paper from Citrus Twist. It's a paper that I had used half of already, so it's cut down to 4x6. It's so graphic that I felt like I needed some larger presence for my title, so I'm going to spell out 22, so it'll say week 22. I'm going to stack them all 3 words on top of each other, and then I'll add a label below that for the dates. And I really end up liking the way it looks. It's really simple, but because that card is so busy, there's so many letters, right, on this card, it really didn't need much else. It didn't need anything more to make it look complete. So that's it. That's the title card all done. I just need to add my date stamp. And I think I just add the days and the month. Yeah, I just kind of partially stamp the date stamp there. Okay, so moving on now. I think the next thing I'm going to do, I was trying to decide if I wanted to type up my journaling or just handwrite it. But because there's so much kind of type on this spread already, I decided to handwrite my journaling, which you'll see here in a little bit. I did want to add some stamping, so I'm just looking through just my Citrus Twist Kit stamp. Again, I'm just trying to limit what I'm allowing myself to pull from so that I don't get completely overwhelmed. There's still a lot here. I still pull out a lot of stamps. I do end up using a few of them, so you'll see how those work out. But I wanted to look through the stamps and get an idea of what I had so that I knew how much journaling to add so that I could leave space essentially for any stamps that I really wanted to include. So here I decided to go ahead and handwrite my journaling on this card. This is a Studio Calico card. And I thought, oh,
won't it work perfectly if I use my T-square ruler to write some lines on here, since it's just a white card and I likely would not write straight. And yeah, that did not work. It did not work at all. And then I went to write and I totally smudged the ink on all of those lines. So I decide that that's not going to work and decide just to cut off that top part of the card, which is the only part of the card that has any sort of design on it. And that's the part I really wanted, obviously the sentiment. So I'm just going to chop that off and add it to the top of another card. And I'm just trying to decide between these two. Both of these are from Citrus Twist. So I'm just using that title on that card as an embellishment on the top of this one. And this one already has lines on it, so I don't have to try and draw new ones. But yeah, I did still have ink on my hand when I went to write on this card. So of course I ended up smudging a bit of it and I had to get out my sand eraser. It was just a tiny bit and it came right off, but super annoying. So I write my lines of journaling here. The lines on this card are super faint and I had a bit of a hard time seeing them, so it still ends up looking a little bit off, but you know, it's handwritten journaling. It's always going to look a little bit off, at least if I'm the one handwriting it, so it's fine with me. And I was able to get basically everything I wanted to say here down on the card, and that's really all that matters. So writing my journaling, and then I will add some stamping as well. I do also write some journaling on this label here below the photo of our dinner one night, and then I think also on this one as well. I'm going to go ahead and stick these down since I hadn't already. Just add that little puffy sticker above the photo and a little chipboard piece below, and then it's kind of already has lines on the card, so I'm just going to use those to handwrite a few lines about this photo, which is of a Bloody Mary. And what I'm writing is that we've kind of have a new tradition of Bloody Marys and mimosas on Sunday mornings, and I love it. So, okay, so I'm trying again with the lines. I did not use the T-square ruler this time. I figured I would have much better luck with my normal ruler, and I did. I didn't have any issues with that, and I am setting it aside to let the ink dry before I hand write my journaling on that card. While that's drying, I am going to do some stamping. So I have a stamp here from Citrus Twist. I'm so sorry. I have no idea what stamp this is. If you really want to know, I will absolutely look them up for you. Just let me know in the comments. But offhand, I can't remember which kit this came from or which month this was from or what the name of this stamp was. I'm not even sure if it was a Traveler's Notebook stamp or a kit stamp, but yeah, if you are curious, if you see one that you must know, just let me know and I will definitely look it up for you. I'm happy to do that. Okay, so I stamped Time to Play below that weekend happenings card because I'm going to be talking about us playing music. And then I wrote or stamped Feeling Happy below the Better Together card at the top. And then I am stamping the word routine in this spot on the Wash Your Hands card, which I thought was perfect since that seems to be our routine these days, to wash our hands over and over every time we leave the house or get the mail or pretty much anytime we do anything. So I think I'm just looking through the rest of the stamps now to see if there's anything else that I really want to include. I didn't find anything, so I'm going to go ahead and finish writing my journaling. And then this spread is almost done. I think the only thing I have left to do, I have to attach the little ticket embellishment that I've added to that bottom photo. And then I'm going to come in with some puffy heart stickers because yeah, it's just not finished without a few puffy stickers, right? So I had a bunch of sheets of puffy heart stickers from Citrus Twist that were mostly used, just had a few left, so I'm going to use a few of those up and add them around the spread in those same colors, in that kind of pinky red color, and then I think I do add one white one to a spot that just needed a white one to be able to stand out on the card. Yeah, and then that's going to be it. So there are some close-up photos coming up so you can see all of the details. If you have any questions about anything I've used or anything I've done here, please feel free to leave those in the comments and I will be sure to get back to you. There is not really anything I can link in the supplies below, but again, I will absolutely let you know what things are from if you just ask me in the comments. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed seeing the spread come together and are able to find some inspiration here. If you did enjoy the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to have you, so please do hit that subscribe button and the bell to get notified when I upload new videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you back here very soon.